Voilà.
All right. We're live, Jan?
Yes, we are.
All right. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the second community chat that we are organizing this year. So that's the opportunity to maybe give you a brief update of what we've been working on, what are the news, and also the opportunity for you to ask questions. And we're more than happy to answer and talk about the future as well. So, there were quite a lot of improvement on the Bridge wallet. We've been working hard on enabling all the layer 2, which for us is obviously a very important step in order to go forward onto the tokenization and all those related topics. We are obviously working hard on including the DeFi, so obviously Uniswap, but we're also working on Aave, and we want to improve in the future the interface and the user experience. We are actually working continuously towards this. We know that this entire ecosystem is still very geeky to use. Our view is that we need to actually abstract some notions and things to make it clearer for the newcomers. So that will come. We're working on it, and every day we're improving. So we have actually been working on tokenization with different companies. I guess Realty is the most well-known. We've also done some other Swiss companies, and we've been also partnering with some foreign ones for the on-off-ramp. So they're promoting the on-off-ramp from Pelerin. There are a few companies in the pipeline as well that will come. We also have some real estate companies that are promoting our on-off-ramp. We have even some cannabis company in the pipeline for tokenization, etc. You will hear more. Right now, this is, I believe, the beginning of the new era of tokenization. Again, we truly believe that in a couple of years, that will be the norm. And at least in Switzerland, we truly believe that companies will incorporate in the blockchain at the time of incorporation. And this is something we're truly working on. So we have made several updates on the Bridge protocol. We've been working mostly on the interfaces. This is something that it was very important, and we would like to thank also our partner Realty here, and especially Michael, who gave a lot of feedback that allowed us to really improve on certain front-end design and interaction and the way to reduce time spent on daily operations, etc. So right now we have something that is a lot more efficient and that works really, and that we can prove that works at scale. That now can be used for multiple issuers. We've been working with, we've been onboarding, and we've been discussing with a lot of new banks recently. We've been onboarding in Neuchâtel with a new cantonal bank. We are also discussing with others, and there are news to come. This allows us to be a little bit more flexible in terms of operations. We also have opened a bug bounty program for all our open source and not yet open source systems. And Jan has been working very hard on creating new educational content in order to help also the newcomers to understand a little bit better this whole industry and ecosystem that sometimes look a little bit mystical for someone that is just joining. And of course, today, the goal of this community chat is to announce a news, which is about the fees. We are going to make a new offer where people can actually get to buy tokens and Bitcoins with 0 fees. So obviously that will come with a limit. And the idea here is to increase is to increase the number of users in order to help them get to the first stage of getting the first cryptos. We believe this is a great promotion here, at least. So the first limit will be around 500 Swiss franc. So that means that up until that, we will simply have the best rate in the market because it will be mid-rate, no transfer fees, no, including the gas fee will be on us. So it's really a kind of subsidy that we're doing here for the first 500 equivalent Swiss franc that every new customer will buy through us. So that will be kind of interesting also because you will receive the crypto directly in your wallet. No need to actually credit and then log and then click on buy and then withdraw to your own address. Here you can really link your address in the Bridge wallet and receive directly the crypto there. You can obviously do DCA, which is you can put a weekly or monthly automated wire to us with the correct reference, and it will credit automatically your account on a weekly or monthly basis. And that's something we strongly support because, again, we truly believe that that's the best way to invest in crypto. Some people have time to spend, some others do not, and the best way to average out the risk of the price is to actually buy small chunks on a regular basis. So as I said, here is the idea behind the promotion, which is the first 500 will be for free, meaning that we will not take any commission. We will take on us the cost of gas and all the banking wires, etc. Now that means that it's only for the first 500 equivalent per year, but you can extend that free transaction if you hold MPS. And of course, the whole idea here is to support the price of the MPS token and to incentivize people to hold even more the MPS token. So you'll see that the incentive can be quite interesting, especially when you have big amounts to process. We have also opened recently a new OTC desk. So an OTC desk means over the counter. It means that instead of going through the app, customers come through us. The idea of the OTC desk is to serve mostly 100K plus transaction minimum. And here we have an all-included price where actually it's an all-in-all price. So the customer receive a quote, he can either book it or not, and he can compare the quotes to anything he can get on the market, taking into account the slippage of large transactions, etc. So that we are very excited because we believe that it can have a great impact on the MPS price, and Jan will do his little magic to promote that information. Yeah, we hope it will be for the better and for everyone.
Also, I think just to add something, of course, before we didn't have a digressive fee, which is also what we are introducing here, regardless whether you have MPS or not. But of course, it's very important and logical to offer digressive fees for the bigger amounts you offer. And I think what is very interesting here, related to what Arnaud just said, is that basically you will have access to quasi OTC fees for your wallets with this new pricing. So again, it's a very unique, excellent pricing, which we hope you will enjoy.
So this is something that had actually a great impact. We were contacted by several companies when we started to offer the on-off ramp from the layer 2 directly without going through Ethereum or through other chain. And so this is something we will develop even more because we truly believe that there is a huge market here to have the direct ramp up onto the layer 2. Today we are obviously limited in terms of side chains we offer, but we truly believe we have chosen the the most used ones today, such as obviously Matic and Binance Smart Chain, but also XDAI that we actually very much like today. Realty has made also the choice to move to XDAI. We believe that's a good alternative that we're also exploring, although to bring some more DeFi component onto it. But here we cannot say too much right now. Also, maybe there is to note, which is the on-ramp today can be done only in 4 different currencies. That will actually increase in the future, but the off-ramp can be done in 28 different currencies. So we have quite some demands on some exotics. So this is an interesting use case. So what's coming up? We hear from you that a lot of people want the instantaneity of buying through the cards instead of banking wire, because we know that banking wires from Switzerland to Switzerland is quite fast. In general, if you do it in the morning, it takes less than an hour to get to our accounts. But when it comes to international wires, sometimes you can lose 1 or 2 days. So the card payments will come soon. We hope before the end of the summer. Pretty much everything is ready now, so it's more like in terms of pipeline implementation. The pricing on the card payments, we believe, will be very competitive as compared to what you can see today on the market with Simplex, MoonPay, and all those guys. The second aspect is the Lightning Network. We will add Lightning Networks to the Bitcoin. And even potentially for the direct buy onto the Lightning Network, and this is something that for us is very important to support that ecosystem. The web-based fiat on-off ramp. So Sebastian will be working soon on a module to get the possibility to have that on pretty much any website in the same way as Ramp Network. So the idea is to be able to offer our on-off ramp system to pretty much any wallet or any exchange that is not banked today, or even traditional website that could just add a widget onto it. The MPS on sidechain, that's totally in line with what with our goals, which is to bring tokenization to the mass, and therefore it requires low fees. So the MPS will be issued also on the side chains. It will be multi-chain. And at some point in time, we will migrate the MPS token because, as some of you might know, the MPS token was made on the old version of the bridge protocol, which is quite annoying for us because it has a lot of limitation. So we need at some point to move and to upgrade the MPS from the version 0.5 to version 2 of the bridge protocol. Unfortunately, that would require to have a proper migration because the initial contract did not include the possibility to move. Sorry. Will not have the possibility to move to upgrade the contract. So that's a bit of a pity, but that will happen smoothly, I believe. The synthetic CHF, that's something more as a theoretical discussion that we obviously have right now with Jarvis. I mean, it's not a secret. We pretty much like what Jarvis is doing. We participated in the JCHF minting. We believe that's a great opportunity. We have been working a lot on getting CHF and euro in the form of stable coins through a reserve at the bank. That works in Switzerland with so-called bank guarantee. So there is an example that exists. It's called the XCHF. That's working well. The problem that we see in this is the model, because the bank obviously charge negative interest rate plus the cost of the bank guarantee. And at the end of the day, economically speaking, that doesn't really make sense. So we've been working hard to try to find a bank that would allow to do that with a 0% fee on the bank guarantee. That's something that could happen, but it's not there yet. And in the meantime, we truly believe that there is something that can be done very interesting with the synthetics, simply because at the end of the day, the way Jarvis is doing it, for example, is that they have as a collateral USDC, which on average is 2 times more collateralized. That means that in terms of risk of volatility of the what is in custody is a lot less than if it would be Ether or wrapped Bitcoin or anything like that. We like it because obviously there is also the possibility to get out of the negative interest rate through that, and it allows you to have the possibility to be in stablecoin within an ecosystem that doesn't need a bank to hold the reserve. So obviously the risk is USDC because the reserve is done in USDC, but at least it allows to have for the CHF the same liquidity as the USDC has on the back. So I will not enter into the details of Jarvis and in general of synthetics, but that's very interesting because it allows now to have smaller token to benefit from the liquidity of bigger tokens such as USDC in order to trade wrapped Ether, in order to trade any other tokens, etc. Have integration, as we mentioned. So this is obviously something that we really like and like we want to have natively on the wallets. The deposit account is something we're working on that includes the licensing aspect onto it and the potential partners. And on the other side, we're also now getting closer to the issuance of Visa card. Again, this is still conditional because, as most of you know, the business model around the card is pretty hard. That means that there is a lot of competition, fees are very tight, it requires quite a significant amount of support. So we need to actually get to a pricing where we will come neutral with the card. That means that we can offer that as a loss leader to our customers, but it's not necessarily something where the company is gonna actually make money on, because today in the competition landscape that would be a bit harder. We're also discussing with high-end card issuer, which is quite interesting for those potential new crypto rich that would like to have the same advantage as they would get with the super fancy Hollywood star Amex that everybody is using, that is actually not having too much perk, and that we could actually mimic with the Visa Infinite. So this is something also that we're exploring right now, and then potentially we will communicate more in the future. There is a lot of things in the pipeline. Actually, my table is full of notes. And yeah, everything is actually going forward extremely positively right now. I would also to mention that we are in a hiring process. So this Monday, we have a new person that has joined us on the legal and compliance side. Next month, we will recruit a new person on the operational side. And potentially during the summer, we will also get to increase the IT team. And I think that's pretty much it for today, and I'm looking forward for questions.
So we will take the question on screen. Again, people don't hesitate to post any questions in comments. And let's take the first one that is right here.
Yeah, so you can trade MPS with anyone. Today, I believe that MPS is only listed on Uniswap, and you can actually trade on Uniswap. We know there is not that much liquidity. We know that some people are asking us to provide liquidity there. We're still trying to solve legal and accounting issues in order for us to be able to provide liquidity, but that's not clear yet. So right now it's only you guys actually providing liquidity there. So we know that's a bit annoying that there is not that much and that the price can swing a lot depending on the movement. But yeah, so you can trade MPS, also OTC with anyone that you know and agree on the price. That's completely freely tradable and exchangeable.
We also know that the network fees on Uniswap are a big problem for most people, which is why, as Arnaud explained, we are really actively studying the fact of bringing the NPS on side chains, whether it's going to be on XDAI or Matic. But that's something that many of you want, and that's of course something that we want too, and that will be one of our priorities in the short term to really make this smoother and more accessible for everyone.
Right.
Next question. This one would be probably for Sébastien. Sébastien, do you want to answer that?
So
are you starting from zero?
Yeah. So I think the question is that if you already buy in the past, if you already bought crypto with us in the past, will the count apply? So the answer is yes. So basically, if you bought $1,000 of crypto with us, then we'll start at $1,000.
You can add when is the reset?
When is the reset? That's a good question. So basically it's on a yearly. So it's on a 365 days period. So basically the reset is next year in 365 days. It's a rolling period.
Thanks. Next questions. Up.
No. There is nothing we can share. This is something that is taking us a lot of energy, time, resources. There is nothing we can say right now about that.
Except that we are still working on it.
I mean, the very important thing to understand here is that what we're trying to achieve is first of all, to run IT systems on our own and not being dependent of the existing core banking system vendors. We're also addressing the general public, the retail. We don't want to make a product only for institutions or only for accredited and qualified investors, which is a lot easier. If you think of it, convincing FINMA to work only with accredited and institutions, it means that those people understand very well their risk in terms of reputation for FINMA. If something goes wrong, that's something that is easier to manage. We are a different animal. We want to bring crypto to the mass. We want to offer IBANs in front of addresses. We want to link those two worlds and to bridge those two worlds. And it takes a lot of time in order to reassure that everything will be properly done, managed with the proper team, with all the security in place, with all the processes, with all the traditional processes, as well as the new processes that comes with crypto. And we are going to go very far on this topic. We cannot say too much, but our view of how to build it is very, very special as compared to what people in the market today that have a FINMA license are providing, which is only to institutions and accredited investors. Now, as a financial intermediary, we can, of course, do a lot of things. So we are not very much limited, but we have to work with banks, and we would very much like to get full independence here.
Next question.
Why moving from Geneva to Neuchâtel? That's a very good question. So the headquarters has actually moved to Neuchâtel for several reasons. The team is today spread in between Geneva and Lausanne. We've been working since 1 year almost entirely remotely. We, in the meantime, last year got to meet, we already knew, but the economical promotion of Neuchâtel. We found them very proactive in attracting crypto companies there. They really want to build an ecosystem. And we really truly think that that's a very interesting thing that is happening right now there. We do not say that nothing is happening in Geneva. In Geneva, of course, a lot of things is happening. We're not leaving completely Geneva either. We will have representatives still here in Geneva. But yeah, we really thought that we have something more accessible in terms of discussions with the people, with the economical actors locally, and including the bank we work with. I do not get the question. Coming back to your tokenized incorporation, are you referring to support startups by August? I'm not sure I understand. I mean, we already offer tokenization for any startup today. It's not a problem. We've been offering that service for quite some time right now. The process is, again, tokenizing a Swiss company, at least, is extremely simple, fast, and inexpensive. Yeah. So tokenizing share of your company is a matter of, I would say, half a day with us. And then you need to wait 2 weeks for the commercial registry to get the proper update. But at the end of the day, that's a very, again, simple Control-C, Control-V process. It's not like we take consultings and things like this. It's a very simple process. So that's already there. So by August, there is this new, the second step of the Lex DLT, which will allow exchanges to exist in Switzerland in the form that everybody knows. And up until now, it was not allowed for exchanges to exist in Switzerland unless they were licensed as a bank or as a securities dealer. Like today, it's called securities house. With this new Lex DLT, the second step of the Lex DLT in August, it will allow token-based exchange, and where the definition of it will be more blurred in terms of you could trade security tokens, utility tokens, as well as crypto. And this is obviously something that we are actively discussing internally because that's exactly what we want to do.
So maybe we can just add that if you're interested, you can just send us an email. We have a standardized pricing and we can definitely help you do that if you want to have this project for your company.
You can even do it for free. I mean, today, tokenizing your own company is something like the bridge protocol. If you're tech savvy enough, you can use the bridge protocol to do the issuance, to actually put the parameters onto the tokens, to define what tokens will be freely transferable, what tokens will be binded to, I don't know, some so-called shareholder agreements between all legacy shareholders and initial investors. You can define all that, and you can do it on your own. You go onto the bridge protocol, you parameter all this, you plug your Trezor or your ledger, you approve, and you can generate the whole thing on your own without us being involved. Today, I would say that most of our clients ask us to do it for them because they don't feel comfortable doing it on their own. But as I said originally, it's something that on our side takes only half a day of work, so it's not going to be very costly.
Again, to answer shortly, the underlying question is that all our process and services that we have until now will be compatible with the August 21 updates. Next question. That's a good question.
Not yet. This is a very good point. The problem is that if you look at it, I mean, I can't remember the name, but Kraken was using. I completely forgot the name of this company in order to do SEPA instant in the Eurozone. Yeah, we had contact with them. The problem is the cost of those so-called PSP payment service providers. And that actually kills the business model. So we are trying to work directly with banks on that topic instead of going through the PSPs. That will take a little bit more time, but it's getting there, because now, especially if you look at banks in the Eurozone, they were already offering the instant payments for retail, but for SMEs and companies in general, it was not available everywhere up until now. And now it's getting democratized. They are starting to offer that. So it's something that we're looking to offer before the end of the year, yes.
Next question, I think Eric meant SIG and quantum vote.
Oh, the quantum vote. Yeah, I mean, we participated on the so-called H2020, Horizon 2020 from the European Union. We've made all the demonstration on how to use Cheniere secret sharing on top of the so-called QKD. That is working. That has proven to be effective. Right now, we are using it for our own purpose, but obviously the quantum link behind, provided by ID Quantic, is a very expensive tool that today doesn't make sense for us to pay. Just to give you an idea, just like one point-to-point link in QKD would cost around 250K. So that's quite a lot of money for a small startup for us, like us. So we can use the test bed, we can prove that it's working, but right now we are going to continue on the developments here, but we cannot obviously afford the quantum link at this point in time. So we will discuss with our partner if we can keep it or not, or if we actually are going to switch with mathematical encryption on it. Or maybe Sebastian, you want to add something here?
No, I think you covered pretty much everything. Just to give you an overview. So the testbed in Geneva has been successful, and the H2020 has decided to take all the hardware to put it in other countries because that was part of the plan. But so far we've done our part of the job.
It's not in the pipeline. You can always use anything that is web-based through Wallet Connect. We believe that that's the best way to interact with the different protocols, etc. The web-based version today, I mean, we do not see that in the near future, unless there is a really huge demand for it.
Again, as Arnaud mentioned before, there will be the web-based crypto buy and sell tool, which is part of the wallet, an important part. So that will be the first step. That will be the first project. After that, maybe we'll have a clearer view on what we can do for a full web version of Bridge Wallet. Next question, which is related to the news from yesterday, I believe.
No, I don't know. Of course, I know them. They have a securities house license, which allows them to actually offer trading for any type of securities. That obviously include also crypto. From my understanding, their goal is to be only institutional focus. That means that they want to onboard banks, and their direct competitors is mostly SDX, the SIX Digital Exchange. So that's their way forward. They received, I guess, I know that they were working on this license for quite some time, a lot of time actually. They received it now a couple of months before the official DLT exchange license, which is in the end what they do, so that makes sense. And they are focused on that. On our side, maybe as a bracket, we are discussing with another securities house, another two partners to offer similar services, but this is for us a way to look at it in terms of partnership with someone that has already clients, etc. Yeah? So again, our DNA is to be retail, general public focus, and to democratize access to those assets.
Last questions, and people feel free to ask more in the meantime.
Do you have ETA for open sourcing Bridge Wallet? No ETA. I know that Jan and Sebastian want to push that as soon as possible. But again, in the context of the pipeline of things that we have to deliver. That's probably not the most urgent, but I understand that there is a need for that. So we will keep you posted. I don't know if you, Sebastian, you want to add something, but at least for me, that's the answer.
I would say that at last it will be in end of September 2021.
At least that gives an idea. All right, that was the last question. So
thank you very much.
That's it. If you have more, that's the last moment. Otherwise, as usual, you can always, we answer all your questions on Telegram, by email. Always happy to chat with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.